Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Idle Angels guide. I know that I promised kind of that I will do Nemesis very soon, but considering that on Friday, which is tomorrow, we are having the rerun of Anubis, and I know that a lot of you are asking how they should build their Anubis. That's why Anubis is going to be today. Then tomorrow, I'm gonna post the weekly update, which is explaining all of the events and how to do them. And then probably on Saturday, it's when I will be uploading that how to build Nemesis guide. So without any delay, let's get straight into how to build Anubis. Now, just some information before we start with the Anubis, some general information that you will need, how the upgrading of the angel level cap works. In order to reach the maximum angel cap, which is level 400, and you really need that because this boosts your basic stats of your angel, you will need to upgrade the red stars, the SSR plus stars, to 5 in order to be able to reach level 300, and then the UR to level 5, which is the small purple stars, to be able to reach level 400 on your angel. Essentially, each star will just give you plus 20 more max cap to the level, so that's why you will need that. For the angels that are MR based, it's quite easier and cheaper because you only need to build their MR stars, and each star will give you not 20 but 40 levels worth of maximum cap. So this here on the bottom is a showcase of a list of how many scrolls you're going to be needing in order to summon for the angel. So 0 stars means the base copy of the angel. If you don't own the angel and you want to summon it, how much scrolls you will need. And then on the back at the end, you can see the total amount of scrolls that you will be needing to have in order to max out that angel. And for the incarnation level, it's the same as the MR levels. When it comes to the awaken levels of Anubis, what I suggest is if Anubis is your first angel, you should max out the MR, and then you should max out the incarnation level with a small note that if you have enough blue scrolls, it might be a bit easier and better to get the MR1 than to do the incarnation level 1. So like this. And then to push the sorry. Yeah, something like that. You do MR1, then you do incarnation 1, and then you finish the MR, and then you finish the incarnation level. But of course, this is a bit of a more complex way, and in my opinion, if it's your first angel, you just would like and enjoy the MR upgrades first. If this is not your first angel and you already own an angel that can push to level 400, I would suggest that you do it this way, that you get MR 1 star, then you max out the incarnation level, and then you go back to max out the MR. The biggest reasoning is because on the MR, you don't really have that much of the damage skills. On Anubis, it's more of passive buffs, so she just gets stronger, while the incarnation level, it's something that will give Anubis a lot of damage. Every 2 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, she can cast her incarnation skill, so that's plenty of damage. When it comes to her UR skill, she will be dealing 500% physical damage and inflicts bleed on one of the enemy. Bleed means that the target can no longer restore HP. And then the second skill deals 500% physical damage, inflicts gripped on one enemy that lasts for 2 rounds, basically the target damage reduction is minus 10% and can no longer gain shield, which is really, really big when it comes to those angels that provide shielding, like Sim or Raf. So if you're facing enemies that are shielding and protecting the enemy lineups, this will definitely be useful. But for PvE, I haven't encountered a boss that does shielding, so I don't think that this is that good for PvE. When it comes to the UR plus powers, when Anubis kills an enemy, the enemy does not die immediately. Instead, they enter a confined state, which becomes immune to all effects and damage and skips their round. Dies after Anubis takes their next action. This is actually really, really important to note for PvP, because imagine this: Anubis kills one of the enemies, and usually when an angel dies, another one from the lineup from 6 to 12 slot is supposed to come back on the field. But thanks to Anubis, she kills one enemy and then stalls the next angel for 1 round, which is very, very good, in my opinion, for PvP. If no enemy is in the confined state, Anubis Deathlord deals 200% damage and takes 50% less damage, which means for the first round, if I'm not mistaken, she will be dealing 200% more damage, because in the first round there will be no enemy that will be in this confined state. And then when it comes to the UR plus buffs that you can get through upgrading from 1 to 5 stars, I suggest that you bring the attack buff on the first one. Then on the second one, you choose the 20% more damage for 1 round. On the third one, you could do speed for the sole reason to have Anubis faster in the PvP. But if you are only focusing for the PvE, or you're trying to push the PvE, you can choose the other buff that is giving more attack buff to all of the allies. Then I would say that on the fourth one, you would prefer the take and deal 30% more damage. So basically, she becomes a glass cannon, but she is already a glass cannon. And lastly, it really depends, because sometimes for PvP, definitely you would prefer to have the Lull of Eternity, which will allow Anubis to revive 1 time. But for PvE, Lull of Harmony can help you tremendously, mainly because you will be dealing plus 50% more critical damage, which is insane. And in my opinion, can help you out in some stages, because in some stages your angel won't die, but you won't have enough damage to push to the next one. When it comes to the MR powers, on MR0 you gain 1 stack of Soul Grasp, which basically gives 10% attack, critical, and incarnation level damage. So you see, this is why I say that it is good to do 1 star of MR and then do the incarnation skill, because basically with full building MR, you're just buffing your incarnation damage, but you're not really dealing any incarnation damage because you don't own the power. On MR1, you're getting 200 energy, which is enough to cast her MR power on the first round. And also, I forgot to say the passive, Anubis gains 30% attack, defense, and max HP from targets that are in the confined, which is basically what we spoke about for the UR plus power. Whenever she kills an enemy, they enter this state. So essentially, she just stacks a lot of stats. MR2 is just more stats for her MR. MR3 allows her to start with 2 additional stacks of Soul Grasps. MR4 is giving you 50% instead of 30% for the buff of the passive buff that we mentioned, and MR5 allows you to gain plus 1 more stack of Soul Grasp. So essentially, you're just getting a lot of buffs with the MR power, and you're not really having any damage skill with the MR. It's just passives. But on the incarnation power, this thing changes. Why? Because the incarnation 0 allows her to attack 4 times, dealing 400% true damage and 80% holy damage. And a passive that kills the enemy that enters the confined state after 2 actions. Now, Incarnation level 1 will give you 1 willpower, which will allow her to cast her Incarnation skill on the first round. This is why it's very important when you're building the MR or the Incarnation. For 99% of the angels, you will need to own 1 star of that level. Otherwise, you won't really feel that you have put the upgrade on. Incarnation level 2 will give Anubis that the damage that she deals is unaffected by damage reflection or counter attacks. Incarnation level 3 will allow Anubis to gain +1 more willpower whenever she takes an action, which is really good because this means she gets 2 willpower instead of 1 each round, so she can cast incarnation skills more often during the battles. Then Incarnation level 4, if there is an enemy in confined state, Anubis does 1 additional attack to the highest attack enemy, which is very, very good. Essentially, you're just dealing more damage to the enemy. And then Incarnation level 5 is going to give you plus 100% more true damage and plus 20% more holy damage, plus 1 more additional attack towards that enemy with the highest attack. In my opinion, she is dealing a lot of damage as a single target, and Enmo is a support that will be very nicely paired with Anubis. When it comes to the relic, I suggest that you build the main relic that is designed for Anubis, because it gives her damage increase plus 43% and attack up plus 43% when it's almost maxed out. I couldn't find a maxed out relic. And then for the substats over here, I would suggest that you look crit damage or attack. This is probably going to be most important that you look for. And why I'm not saying speed, even if you build speed, it is very hardly possible that you will outspeed someone that built Pandora currently that we have. Someone will have less speed with a Nemesis, because Nemesis has a speed relic. So essentially it's hard to outspeed the enemy. That's why I would suggest that you just go for full damage and you kind of pray to later on build enough of a supports that will protect your Anubis for her to be able to unleash her attacks. Keep in mind, Anubis is a glass cannon, so she will be taking a lot of damage. And it's kind of a counterplay that she just needs to attack first and kill the enemy before she dies. But she deals a lot of damage, and in PvE it is very, very good. When it comes to the gear ascension, I would suggest that you first try to upgrade the ring and the sword. After that, you can do the belt with the chest piece, and lastly do the boots with the helmet. For the artifacts, I suggest that you do the sword into the ring and then the chest piece, and the rest 3, I wouldn't say that it makes that much of a difference. Mainly why I say that is because throughout my gameplay of 3 different accounts that I have done, upgrading different artifacts after those 3, so those 3 on the back, they didn't really do that much of a difference at any point. When it comes to the wardrobe, first we want the strength to be at maximum. Why? Because she is with main stat strength and it's a DPS, which means that this will boost her minimum and maximum attack, so she will be able to deal more damage. Second, you want the attack. Third, you want the max HP. Fourth, you want the endurance, because it gives you more HP as well. Then it's the agility, because agility gives you crit chance. And then lastly, it's the intellect. When it comes to the gems, attack gem into the defense penetration gem, into HP gem, and into defense gem if you're looking to max it out. Now, when it comes to the special gem that you get from Illusionary Corridor, there are 2 gems that are possible to use, but I would say that I prefer this one with the true damage. I prefer the one with the true damage because, as I mentioned, on her incarnation level, she is dealing true damage and holy damage, and on her basic skills, she is dealing physical damage. Now, since Pandora came into the game, it might be a good idea to do a physical damage gem and a true damage gem depending on what enemy you're facing. If you're facing a Pandora, you do the physical damage gem, and if you are not facing a Pandora, you do the true damage gem. Why? Because Pandora will make your Anubis at some point not to be able to cast her incarnation skill, so she will be relying on her normal skills, and her normal skills deal physical damage. But this is if you really truly want to build two separate gems and swap it for Glory Arena or for different battles that you are encountering. In any case, either of the two gems that you choose to build, what you need to be looking for is the crit damage percentage up and the final damage boost. Those two are a must to own. Then I would say another priority gets the buff received, and then lastly the percent attack. When it comes to the speed, if you have no other option, put speed, but I think those will be the best options that you can put. And then if you have no option for those four on the top, maybe try to get some physical damage boost, because again, she deals some physical damage, so that will be better than most of the other bad options. When it comes to the affinity and fate, your goal is to reach 2000 affinity in order to be able to unlock all of these fates without having to use the angels in the lineup. You only will need to own the angel. So make sure to open chests and to give her and push her affinity to 2000 and marry the angel as fast as possible. When it comes to the pets, once you reach MR5 stars on Anubis, you will unlock the pet system, and I suggest that for a free-to-play, so if you are not winning those vault points, or if you are not spending money, you try to max out Death Reaper and put Death Reaper on Anubis. But if you're looking for the pay-to-win solution, maybe Lord of Stars won't be that bad, because I feel like Lord of Stars is an pet that provides a lot of damage when you have an angel that deals a lot of attacks, and she deals 4 attacks in her incarnation level plus additional attacks towards the second target with the highest attack. And if you build Enmu, that will split the damage into other angels as well, then this guy will help tremendously in that. So this is going to be it for this video. I hope that you are going to enjoy it, and when it comes to building angels, I hope that these videos actually help you out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.